I always knew forever and ever that I was never going to get dentures, ever. And I always knew that implants were ridiculously expensive, but I knew I would never get dentures. So the key was, how was I going to get implants? And the answer was, when my mom passed and I received a $20,000, inheritance, that was enough money to go to Cancun and get a whole mouthful of implants. I was going to go. I'm fearless. I'll do anything. My sweetheart, on the other hand, first of all, he hates to fly. He didn't want me on an airplane. And the idea of a 68-year-old woman alone having surgery in a foreign country, he said, gee, I wish you wouldn't do that. And so he began exploring options for me in this country. And when I first went to Clear Choice, they told me that they'd be happy to help me with 4 all-on-4s for the modest price of $63,000. I had 20. So I said, nope, sorry, thank you very much. I'm going to Cancun. And Tim was very, gee, I don't think that's a good idea, Siri. So he began researching, and he found me a local dentist here in Freehold, and he was great. And he said, oh, probably not more than 54. And I said, okay, well, I only have 20, so thank you very much, goodbye. And then one day he's always doing research on the computer. And one day Sage just came up out of well, I believe that the universe takes care of me. So God brought Sage to me, and Tim investigated Sage, and you literally offered me the same thing that Clear Choice and the local dentist offered me for $39,000. And at that moment, it became, okay, I've got the 20. And Tim said, I really don't want you to go to Cancun. How about if I take out a loan for the rest? I said, what a great idea. So we did. But you see, between 63 and 39, I mean, give me a freaking break. And then you're going to love this part. You personally are going to love this part. I walked into Sage, and it's a beautiful place. It's small-ish anyway, but not tiny. It's a little home. And I walked in there, and I sat in the waiting room, and there was a lot of people there, and you came out. I had no idea who you were, never saw you before. You stuck your head into the lobby to check in on everybody. And you said, does anybody need anything? Can I get anybody a water? And I thought, whoa, I mean, that's service. That's taking care of people. Obviously customers, but it's taking care of people. And that struck me like, whoa. And then I met Israeli, of course, the superhero, and he was amazing. And it was the funniest thing. By the time I got to your office on that same day, you and I were not having a conversation about, okay, now what? Let's move forward. I mean, it wasn't even a question. And then my experience since then has been extraordinary. The whole experience has been one of, well, basically family. All of your people that work together treat each other as family, and you certainly treat me as family. And so, by the way, I'm fearless. I was going to get on the plane to Cancun. I'm fearless, and yet I'm not when it comes to pain, and I'm way not when it comes to dental pain. I am a baby. That's how my teeth got messed up in the first place. The surgery, the recovery, I was 68. You recover slower then. So my experience, if you haven't figured it out by now, has been extraordinary. So now, check that out. I mean, it's like so great. Yeah. Because 5 years ago, I literally had, well, not to, but this is nothing against anyone on the planet at all. But people could have joked, oh, you look like you come from the mountains of West Virginia. I'm serious. I had holes in my smile. It didn't dampen my enthusiasm and joy for life, but it certainly had an impact on what other people perceived when they saw me, Anyway, so I couldn't be more delighted. These are the zirconium, and there's 3 different levels of white, or you could have natural. I picked white. I didn't want the brightest white, but I picked number 2, and it's perfect. It's not too white. It's just perfect. Okay. My first take on the temporaries was I was nitpicking. Oh, this should be a little, this should be a little. And you know what? Alberto, the, of course, genius designer, Dr. Oz basically the genius mechanic. He makes it possible. And then Alberto comes in with his artistic talent and his passion for beauty. And everything I said every single time, he took it under advisement and he tweaked so that these became our design together. And my last set of temps was exactly this. And all along the way, it's come to be step by step by step. I'm thrilled is the end result, which of course is, teeth are so amazing. They say more about you than almost anything. It should, okay. In my opinion, it shouldn't be that way. It should be this infectious joy that I have, which I do, and I give it away. I share it all the time. This should be everything, but it's not. People pay much more attention to, like I put on my eyebrows and my lips and my lens and did my hair. I do that so that when I share my joy with people, they're not stopped by their judgment of why is her hair like that? Why isn't she wearing makeup? Why is her smile? Why does she have gaps in her mouth? So it's, it's a fulfillment of being what's possible for humanity, physically and spiritually. Wow, I never even got that, but that's it. That's it. Namaste. He just takes his work so to heart. He's going to do the best for his patient no matter what. So that took more time for that to heal. And then right on the heels of that, I became extremely ill. I literally could not leave the house for 8 months. When I came through the other end of that, something shifted in me. And I've always lived my life outside the box, and I've always lived my life way out loud. But something shifted in me powerfully, and I began to be more me than I had been in like 40 years, because God gave me that suffering to open up my empathy astronomically, and the teeth are a perfect fit for who I am today. It's like, also my hair looks good. But anyway, I'm just saying, it's a thing. It's things are coming together for me physically, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically. I literally believe, I believe all of us are here for an absolutely singular purpose, and that's to take care of each other. So my plan is to be an influencer for God. And when I say God, I don't care what you call God. I don't care if you call God, Jehovah, Allah, blah, blah, blah. I don't care what your name for God is. My path in life is clearly to share the energy. I've never met anybody like me ever that has this kind of energy. I say it this way. I used to say I have the energy of a 5-year-old with a puppy. That's not big enough. I have the energy of 2 5-year-olds in a room full of puppies, and I will be 72 January 31st. So my purpose, my mission now is to share that everywhere, to share joy. We're not here to make money. We're not here to drive Lamborghinis. We're not here to go on cruises. We are here to take care of each other. By the way, I love all that other stuff. I've driven a Ferrari 125 miles an hour. I love it. But that's not why we're here. So my calling in life, if you will, and I believe in miracles. I'm only 71. I got lots left to do. Only 71. I don't look like I'm 72, but I'm going to get a little work done someday, but I don't want the recovery. But I do. I look, if 72-year-olds look like this, look at that smile. My overall experience? Yeah, 10, obviously. The only thing I would say to people is be prepared. You all took brilliant care of me, so no matter what you go through, you're going to be taken care of. I shove them right off in your direction. By the way, if I really get out there, you're going to have to move to a bigger space.